The following program is sponsored by Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County.
Welcome to our 47th season of Mosaic. I'm your host, Susan Shulman Pertnoy. Mosaic is Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County's weekly news magazine, exploring the most critical issues facing Jews here and around the world. Being strong, proud, and active members of the local Jewish community has never been more important than it is right now. And Federation's movement to activate Jewish life aims to leave no generation behind. Today on Mosaic, we'll meet some of the people making a huge impact on Jewish life in the Palm Beaches. Stay with us.
If you want to make a difference in the lives of people, there's no better place to be engaged, involved, and give than the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County.
And being a part of our collective efforts, we are able to strengthen Jewish life, care for those people in need, care for the people of Israel, and confront anti-Semitism and acts of hatred against the Jewish community.
This is just the beginning. We can build this community even bigger and better.
Together, we can look to a very, very bright future.
Now is the time. Come and try something that you've never tried before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Join us because the mission of the Federation has never been more critical than it is today.
Welcome back. Joining us today is leading philanthropist Diane Exter, whose generosity has been focused on activating Jewish life right here in the Palm Beaches. Welcome to Mosaic, Diane.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Diane, you're not only are you a leading philanthropist, but you're also on the board of Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County. Tell us your backstory on your involvement in the Jewish community.
Absolutely. So my husband and I, Neil, are from Boston, and I was very involved in the Federation in Boston, the Combined Jewish Philanthropies. I was on the board for 9 years, and I was involved in our Boston Haifa connection, Jewish Education and Identity, where we brought students from Haifa to come to Boston, and from Boston to go to Haifa. And that was very rewarding to me. And then also involved in our allocations, strategic allocations for the Federation. So when we came down here, my husband and I both knew we really wanted to support the Federation here in Palm Beach, and we've been very impressed with the work that the Federation does here. And we're big Michael Hoffman fans, and the rest of the staff has been fantastic. So we've really leaned in. I mean, this is where we live, and so we've leaned into Palm Beach.
And we're very glad that you have, because you're making quite a splash, especially with your devotion and your philanthropy in activating Jewish life. So what specifically inspired you to do this?
So engagement has always been something that has been very important to me. Engagement in Jewish community, and I think that after October 7th, and we saw the rise of anti-Semitism locally, nationally, globally, and it became clear two different things. One is that some Jews were feeling they had to hide being Jewish, and Yet on the opposite side, more Jews said, I need to get involved. I need to be able to be proud of my Jewish heritage and connect with community. And so so when Michael Hoffman started talking about the movement to activate Jewish life, we were all in.
That really resonated with you.
It did.
While it's still in the planning stages, we have a new Extra Center.
Yes.
What do you envision it to be?
Yes. So we're very excited about that as well, my husband and I. So it's actually, I think of it as 4 pieces. So it sits on the campus of right between the Mandel JCC and the Meyer Jewish Prep. And so the first 2 pieces of what it will be able to do is that it provides extra space for both of those organizations. The JCC now sells out of their camp, sells out of their after school. They have so much more programming they could do if they had more space.
Yes, they are bursting at the seams.
Bursting at the seams. And the Meyer Prep, they don't have like a full gym, a theater room so that they can put on plays. And the Extra Center will also be the place where they can have graduation and big events. And so it's really solving problems for those 2 organizations. It will be a federation building. And so the federation will be able to have all sorts of community events at the Extra Center. And then the 4th piece is any Jewish organization in our area that wants to have a fundraiser or do a volunteer program or any sorts of other events can have it at the Extra Center. So it's really supposed to be a community center for the entire Jewish community in Palm Beach.
Well, that's fantastic. When do you project this building will be completed?
So it's still probably at least 2 years away, maybe 2.5, and because we have to get through permitting, but progress has been made. We've seen new renderings that looks beautiful, and it's very similar to a Posnack School building that's down in Davies, Florida, and that we've seen, which is basically a full court basketball with great acoustics. It will have seating for up to 750 people in a theater style, and I think just under 300 for if it was banquet. It can be divided into different sections. It will have a dedicated teen space on the mezzanine.
Oh, so important.
Which is really something that our community has been looking for. And so it will be, so it's been designed. It just now needs to go through the building departments and get built.
So activating Jewish life, I mean, that's going to be the epicenter, seriously, if
yes.
there. But also, in addition, we have so many other programs we're starting or that have been. I think we have over 50 programs right now, which is terrific. But we also have a new one we're starting, which is called the Moshe House. Are you familiar with it?
Very familiar. That's a very impressive organization. It's a global organization.
And why is there such a need for that?
So it fits that sweet spot. So when you're a child, you go through Jewish school, and then maybe you go to college and you have Hillel, and then when you're older and your kids are small, you end up joining a temple so that your kids will go to Hebrew school, and there's those years in between where people maybe get lost. And MEM Global has really hit that spot in a great way.
In a few minutes, we'll be talking with the CEO of MEM Global to explain more about the Moshe House and why it's so important. But before we do, we have to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after this brief message. When we come back, MEM Global CEO David Siegelman joins the conversation to tell us about an exciting new program for young adults. Stay tuned.
The Activate Jewish Life movement is a first of its kind, intends to connect with families with children, to connect with teens, to connect with young adults. However people want to engage with Jewish life, we want to make sure that we are providing them with an opportunity to engage in ways that have relevance and meaning for them. What an opportunity we have to change the face of Jewish life.
Diane, thank you for staying with us. And now joining us is David Siegelman, and he's the CEO of MEM Global. You're also bringing very exciting ways for young Jews to connect. So welcome to Mosaic, David.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're bringing Moshe House to the Palm Beaches. Can you explain what that is?
Sure, absolutely. At its core, everything that we do at MEM Global and with the Moshe Houses and pods is about making being a young Jewish adult the most vibrant time in your life. So we really focus on this post-college, pre-settled down demographic, 20s and early 30s, where we give young adults the opportunity to create and build Jewish community out of their home. That's not just for them, but for all the peers in their community. So
how does that work?
The model is we turn 20 years old next year since the first Moshe House opened in Oakland, and now there are Moshe Houses and pods and Moshe House Without Walls in nearly 30 countries around the world. It's the largest program serving young Jewish adults globally. And the model for the houses and pods is that 2, 3, or 4, 5 sometimes residents live together. They're all working full-time or in graduate school, but in addition to that, at night and on the weekends, they create Jewish life for their peers. Jewish culture and holiday, Jewish learning, Tikkun Olam, social. And here in Palm Beach, we'll have a pod with 2 young women who are really excited to get started in hosting 36 or more programs every year. So it's a high frequency of activity and engagement in Jewish life in partnership with the Federation.
How do you measure success of these pods or houses?
There's a number of ways that we're looking at success. We do external evaluation, and in that we're really looking at behavioral and attitudinal changes. How does one feel about being Jewish? As Diane was talking about after October 7th, is there a pride and energy and excitement about being part of the Jewish community? And then behaviorally, are people engaging in Jewish holidays? Are they do they have a great group of Jewish friends? But above everything, what we're looking at is, are there a lot of programs with a lot of young Jewish adults coming? And does it create a sense of belonging and purpose for people in their 20s as they're starting off this next phase of life?
How do both of you see each other working together? You're the philanthropists, you've got the programs. How do you see that connectivity?
Well, we're really excited that MEM is coming to Palm Beach. I think, and we start with one pod, and hopefully we'll grow beyond that.
We need each other. It's really important. We learn so much from the philanthropists, from the federations, from the organized Jewish community. And then our hope is that we are never a cradle-to-grave organization. We want to serve people for this particular time in life. So 20% of all our programs have to be in partnership with other organizations. We want the folks who are living in and coming to Moshe Houses and pods and programs to become leaders and engaged and involved in all of the local communities that we're involved in. So they really work closely together.
So what do you see as the biggest gap between the 20 and 30-year-old age group?
When I graduated from college, there was really nothing for this post-college demographic. And I think when I think about my parents, when they finished college, they basically had a career that they were going to be in for the rest of their lives. They were getting married and having kids much younger, and now the average age is mid-30s compared to early 20s. And so this is a time in life where people are figuring out who they're going to be, who they're going to be with, where they're going to live. And so the opportunity is to really engage them and have that Jewish experience where it had been a black hole before.
Diane, do you have any comments in addition to what David just said?
I think the MEM program is a very important program as we think at the Federation of how we serve from young children to high school, through college, through young adult, and families, empty nesters, seniors. So it's part of the full movement to find ways to that everyone in our community can engage Jewishly in some way.
And I also feel that it gives them an opportunity to see what other organizations, what other Jewish organizations in the area can offer, so that when they're finished with the program, they have these other places to connect with.
I think that's an excellent point. Yes, I agree with that.
What excites both of you about the future of the Palm Beach movement to activate Jewish life?
I think that there is a lot of growth that will happen over the next 5 to 10 years. It's working on a very strong base, and on top of that, as you pointed out before, there's more programs coming. And I think that we live in a community that is looking for opportunities to engage Jewishly, and there will be more opportunities for everyone.
How about you, David?
Momentum is everything. I think Palm Beach has unique momentum. It has a demographic that has young families moving here. It has seniors moving here and everything in between. That's a very unique situation for Jewish life in America today. But what it also has is leadership, philanthropic vision, and people wanting to step up to engage. And so I think that it'll just build on itself. What to me is key is that there's a foundation built, but then there's an openness to say, what are we going to need in a year? What sparks up? Where are the gaps? Where can we invest? And I think being a movement allows for that to happen, those questions and conversations to constantly be in the air so that whatever we're building here is serving us in the best possible way.
So it's fluid. We keep evolving, which is very exciting. Since moving to our area, do you have a special Federation memory that sticks out in your mind?
There have been many Federation memories, but the one that I think probably inspired Neil and I to get more involved, and the importance of getting involved more deeply in Federation here is actually Susan, you and I and Neil and Michael and others were actually at Auschwitz and Birkenau on October 10th, just days after October 7th.
I get the chills.
And it was a hard time to be doing that, but an important thing to do. And we both just rededicated ourselves, my husband and I, to we need to do what's needed.
Oh my goodness. And what you're doing is for the future. So thank you so much. Yes. More on Moishe House and its plans for the future in the Palm Beaches when Mosaic continues.
If you want to make a difference in the lives of people, there's no better place to be engaged, involved, and give than the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County.
And being a part of our collective efforts, we are able to strengthen Jewish life, care for those people in need, care for the people of Israel, and confront anti-Semitism and acts of hatred against the Jewish community.
This is just the beginning. We can build this community even bigger and better.
Together, we can look to a very, very bright future.
Now is the time. Come and try something that you've never tried before.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Join us because the mission of the Federation has never been more critical than it is today.
We're continuing our conversation with founder and CEO David Siegelman of MEM Global. David, tell us a little bit more about you personally. What has your Jewish journey been like?
Sure. I grew up with a really strong Jewish identity. My dad was born in a displaced persons camp. When you and Diane were speaking about your trip to Auschwitz, certainly resonated with me. When I was able to go visit, they were actually able to look up the date that my grandfather entered the camp, when he exited, and the bunk that he was assigned to.
Oh my goodness.
And so every Sunday we spent with my grandparents on my dad's side. And so my Jewish identity was extremely strong, but my Jewish community was quite weak. There were no Jewish students in my elementary school, none in my middle school. And then I went to a Catholic high school, and it was like 10% Jewish. That was my first foray into it, really. But in 1997, as between my sophomore and junior years, I went on a Federation teen trip to Israel, and it was absolutely amazing. I, for the first time, had a Jewish community. I then participated in youth group, and I knew when I wanted to go to college that I would want to participate in the Jewish community, and I did. And it was from that, through my engagement in Hillel and other activities, that I really formed the identity of wanting to be part of building and creating a strong Jewish future. I was fortunate enough to meet a would-be philanthropist, Morris Squire, who really partnered with me to think about what a Jewish future could look like and invest in it and me, and that's how all of this was born.
He had such foresight. He really did.
You know, we used to joke because he'd have to be just crazy enough to believe in someone who's 19 and invest in them in this kind of a way.
In retrospect, when you think about it, he really just let you run with your ideas.
He was 80 when I met him, and my job was once a week to go to his house and give him up to 5 ideas, and he either said yes or no to them, And the ones that he said yes, it was to go out and make happen. And that happened for years. And the first Moishe House was one of those ideas. I went back to the Bay Area where I grew up after college and had dinner with some friends who had gone on that Teen Israel trip. And we decided, let's do Shabbat dinner. None of us are involved in the Jewish community anymore after college. And we just texted and emailed friends from that trip, and 73 people showed up for Shabbat dinner. And that was the beginning of Moishe House and now Mem Global.
It's an amazing story. So Moishe House is named after him.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. What specific needs do you feel that 20 to 30 somethings who've graduated college or haven't, what are lacking?
There's been some pieces that have been consistent. A sense of belonging, a community. A lot of people are moving to cities for their first time after college and university to start jobs or new adventures, and to be able to tap into a Jewish community, have Jewish friends, peers, activities to go to. That's always been at the core. That's evolved, though, over time. I think after October 7th, there's also a huge need for immersive experiences and ways to engage outside of what's become a very hostile environment for young Jews who are strongly, proudly Jewish, supportive of Israel, where there are a lot of places where young adults have been and thought that they had a really strong place of community and belonging, turned out to not be so welcoming after October 7th as well.
So these Moishe houses must be so much more popular because people are clamoring to belong.
We're opening 12 around the world, actually, this month alone.
Oh my goodness, that is an enormous number. It really is. So how do you fund this? What's the importance of Federation's involvement?
From the beginning, Federation's been a core partner. The way that our model works is that we work that every Moishe house and pod, the cost of a house or a pod is less than what a full-time staff person could be. We really care about being really financially strong and sustainable. And then we have a partnership with the local community and national donors. And so federations have been a core of that local partnership and support. Financially, but also understanding where the demographics sit, finding young leaders, engaging in programs beyond the Moishe houses and pods, so really a core partner.
What's the most meaningful success story that you can recall that you've seen since you've started Moishe House?
I mean, there are so many. The friendships that are made, the relationships. For me, what's really special is when I get the wedding invitations for people that I may or may not even know, and these stories along with it of where they've come to a new city, they've built a community and friendships and now relationships. We now have onesies that we give out for
babies?
for little Moishe babies and Mem babies, and just people being able to really find themselves and in a way that is meaningful for them Jewishly and otherwise.
How long does a participant, how long are they allowed to live in the actual house or pod, as you call it?
So they live for between 1 and 3 years, and then when they move out, someone comes in and takes their spot. And that's what keeps us being able to serve this demographic of 20s into early 30s, so that there's a constant influx of new energy, new residents, and then consequently new participants. We'll run about 14,000 programs this year around the world, serving close to 80,000, maybe a little bit over 80,000 young adults by the end of this year.
Do you coordinate the programs, or are they locally coordinated based on the local needs of the communities?
We learned early on that the biggest key to success is that the young leaders have ownership. We create a framework for it. For every 12 or so houses or pods, there's a full-time person who manages and oversees those houses. We have Jewish educators who support the houses and pods, and we have requirements around it. But that is a framework. They are bringing that framework to life.
Very exciting, it really is. You mentioned earlier that due to October 7th, there have been much more interest in becoming a part of the pods, but there's also been such an increase in anti-Semitism. How is it that these young people feel secure and not afraid to express their Judaism?
I'm not sure that they all feel safe and secure to express their Judaism. We've had to invest significantly in safety and security. historically, we've always had to do that in Europe and South America in our programs, and more the U.S. is looking the same in ways that we have to act. Now, that doesn't take away one's Jewish identity or pride, but it does make wearing your Jewish leadership and connection with Israel on your sleeve a real risk, both socially and professionally. So we are seeing an uptick as well in immersive experiences, learning retreats, week-long activities that we serve for around the world, because people just are exhausted. It's a lot. It's a lot of weight to bear and a lot of heaviness.
Are you using the Federation as a resource to help with other programs that you're using?
We use Federation a lot. So for example, we have a partnership with Jewish Family Services, which often fall under Federation, around providing support for people who need it in ways that we're not equipped to handle. We use Federation for partnerships around programming and service projects, and also around just the demographic studies and understanding, okay, where are young people living? What does that look like? How do we best engage them?
For our viewers and listeners that might want to get involved, what do they do? Well,
the first thing to do is to go to memglobal.org, and you can see the annual report, all the different places that we're doing things, all the different programs that we're in. We have a whole variety of programs that are all meant to serve young Jewish adults at different phases and needs that they might have living in their 20s and 30s. Some are peer-led, some are rabbinic-led, some are for interfaith couples, some are deepening Jewish knowledge. There's a wide variety that people should check out.
Wow, you're all for everybody. That's amazing. I just want you to mention how far and wide you really do exist on the globe. Tell us. I know you're in China.
Yes, we're operating throughout the world, nearly 30 countries, ranging from Almaty, Kazakhstan, to New Zealand, Australia, all throughout Europe, South Africa, North America, and all throughout Latin America as well. So yes, it's a big spread, and that's part of being in the diaspora Jewish community. We really want to serve young Jewish adults wherever they are, whether that's the Baltics or New York City.
On that note, we're going to end the program because it's a terrific program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Susan.
This program is sponsored by Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County.